So, this is my first voiceover. It's probably going to be a little choppy, so please forgive me for that. Please be kind. Well, with that, let's dive into this month's plan with me. After coming off a really doodle and painting heavy June, I really wanted to do something really simple this month. And I thought, line art. What could be simpler than a black pen and a black marker? But as I was setting up, rather researching, I have discovered that I really am in no way a minimalist. Like, what was I thinking? I've never been a minimalist all my life. Of course, it's going to show up in my bujo. It's my personality at this point. The main pages were inspired by Coffee and Sarcasm. See the little insert on Instagram. And then subsequently, as I researched into line art, which led me to geometric shapes and, geometric art, it finally led me down the rabbit hole of Art Deco, a la The Great Gatsby. For my cover page, I actually color blocked using acrylic paint, but I did face a problem later on with it being sticky. Like when I worked on the other pages and I folded in on itself, it stuck. Is that a problem that you guys face, or is it just me? In any case, I found that my peach in that little bottle to be too orangey, too red, and I wanted something that was a little bit more corally, and so you see me mixing the colors over here. For my July cover page, the quote that I added for this time around is a quote from The Great Gatsby. Reserving judgment is a matter of infinite hope. Something that I hope to live by, and somewhat a mantra that I've always used in different words and variations throughout my entire life. I've always believed that, judgment is always something that is very final, that you've already formed this sort of impression of people that you're never going to change, which is actually different from first impressions. Impressions are things more of, you kinda get a feel of the person, but it's subject to change and you are open to the change. So, well, that's something that I really hope to live by. You can also see how I used an Art Deco font for the word July. And, well, it's not quite Great Gatsby, but Art Deco-y enough for me. So now, even though I have finally nailed a theme, looking at the references, there are certain elements within the Art Deco elements that I feel were very similar to what I did for my February spread, which you can see over here. But I finally landed on elements that look great with thin black lines and gold tones. For my monthly spread, I decided to include my habit trackers and my to-do list together on the monthly spread itself, since I realized that in my previous months, I wasn't really tracking my habits throughout the entire month. I tend to stop somewhat halfway because I tend to get very caught up in a lot of activities. I start setting up my next month's spread, and then I kind of do quite a bit of projects, so tracking habits or even like scratching off my to-do list for the month doesn't seem to get very high on the priority list rather than what projects that I'm working on at the moment. Right now, at this moment, I am trying to knit my own cardigan. So right now, that's one of my priorities. So I realized that once I started getting into that, I wasn't really tracking my habits anymore. So hopefully, with this setup, I will dutifully and faithfully track my habits, on top of listing it in my rolling weeklies, which you'll see later on. I also realized that I wasn't actively trying to complete my to-do list for the month, and so in hoping that, flipping to my monthly spread every day, I'll be reminded that, hey, you haven't done any of this, get to it. For the past few months, I've also seen myself getting pretty caught up in my daily life and kind of losing touch with myself. I don't want to be swept up by things, to get just, oh, I have a project, okay, let's work on this and the project, and then I don't know, it felt like this from last year until now. It seems to be the case whereby you just kind of get swept up. You go to work, you have your hobbies, and then you sleep, and then you kind of repeat the cycle. So I want to feel that there is a little bit more meaning. I love all the things that I do, like the little projects that I have. Although I do feel a bit of an imposter syndrome at work, but so far it's not that bad. But like I said, I don't want to just be swept up by the tides. I don't want to really feel so restless as I have been for the past month, probably because I've been cooped up at home so much. I do have a bit of energy to expend. So I got inspired by this YouTuber, by her daily log, which I am setting up right now, and you can also see her example. She's done it for her June and July setup, which I will insert the picture here and insert the links either up in the top cards or down in the description below. So setting this daily log, I hope to see what I've actually been up to day to day, and see if I need a dopamine detox or more downtime, or I should ramp up some productivity, to be more productive. I don't know, maybe also put in some time for to journal. I do have ideas for stories. I'm still doing my knitting project, and I really want my time to be a little bit more productive. After that, so I know that a lot of people actually track their moods, and I never have been for one to have a mood tracker. And to be honest, I find it very difficult because to me, moods is not as straightforward or as clear-cut feelings. Happy, sad, angry, etc. I am always a mixed bag of emotions. Or that, what happens is that I could be happy in the mornings and then suddenly be so anxious by nighttime. So in that sense, I do prefer to do a sentence in a day, which I feel that, descriptive words are better at summarizing my day rather than just, colors to depict how I felt that day. So as you can see, in my next spread is my expense tracker. I've been doing this expense tracker for a while, since I do have a rather lofty savings goal this year. Writing down my expenses makes me a lot more aware of where my money is going, especially when I don't see actual cash leaving me. A lot of how I do payments nowadays is always by credit card or e-payments, or since I'm not really going out much, online shopping. It's really super easy to lose track. And writing these things down actually makes you a lot more aware. And for the record, if you actually head over to my Instagram, probably in a few days time, I'll actually post how the first few lines in my expense tracker is actually fixed amounts that I have to spend every month. I do have subscription services, things like my cell phone, my Spotify. I have to set aside amounts of money for my insurance, amounts of money for my electric bills, so on and so forth. And it's always good to have that fixed amount over there so that you kinda set money aside for it, rather than have to be spending future money on your credit card. And finally, as always, I have a page for my brain dumps, for which I will write whatever doesn't fit on my other pages, with maybe ideas and such. This is where ideas come in for my Instagram posts, whether be it for this channel or my TikTok, or even on my main Instagram account. Next up, on to my weeklies. For this video, I'll just be setting up the first 1.5 weeks, otherwise this video will just be way too long. As such, I actually think I'm quite slow in my setups. I'm always speeding up my videos like crazy when I'm editing. I wonder if that's normal. Anyways, this time I'm doing Tab's Dutch Doors, which I first saw on Plant-Based Bride by Elizabeth, and I am trying to do my rolling weeklies like hers, unlike my previous months where I didn't do Dutch doors, and I didn't spread my weeks into across 2 pages. But since I'm also trying to do kind of like a time blocking kind of a thing, so we shall see how that works out for July. So now I painted the tabs in gold, silver and bronze to tie it into the Art Deco themes, and then using Art Deco fonts for the headers for the days. At the very end, this is the very last spread. There's still a little space, after the last week of July, and so I thought, why not add a little bit of an Art Deco design? And finally finished it off with another quote from The Great Gatsby. All the bright, precious things fade so fast, and they don't come back. It kind of ties into what I've been feeling, to want to be in the moment and to relish the bright, precious things before they fade. And here's my final flip through. I hope you enjoyed, and don't mind my first voiceover. I know it's kind of weird, and I hope to see you in my next video. Bye bye!